Hey, everybody. Welcome back to During Business Hours. We got an interview today with Jacob Vincent, digital repair surgeons. If you hadn't known him, don't know him, links are in the bottom. How you doing today, Jake?
Doing very well.
So where are you located?
I am over in Vermont, Rutland, Vermont.
Where's Vermont?
It's it's over by Canada. Yeah, it's right it's
Next to New York?
next to New York. It's in between New Hampshire and New York, so it's kind of like yeah, by Maine too,
So
like on the end.
so why Vermont? Is that where you're
Um,
born?
I was born and raised here, yep, and I just got a lot of family here and I don't know. I love it. It's got all four seasons.
Is
Winters
that
are pretty cold, but
is that a thing where it's like some places don't have four seasons?
I think so, yeah. Like, well, I mean, like, obviously they have the technical seasons, but like the weather still stays the same, pretty
It's
much.
like Florida.
Or like
Florida's
Florida,
sunny.
right? Or
That's great.
California.
No, we still get winter, fall.
Really?
Yeah, we still get snow sometimes in Sacramento. We're in Northern California,
I did
so
not know that.
it's weird. Uh, Most people are like, "Oh, everything's like L.A." It's those fucking commercials Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in the day. So, if people who don't know you, digital repair surgeons, right? That's your
Yep,
go-to. So,
that's the business.
what do you do with digital repair surgeons? What do you guys offer?
Well, we're a local shop. Actually, we're in the area that I'm in, there is no other cell phone repair place. There's a guy that does it out of like he used to be in the mall, but the mall here shut down. So he kind of does it out of his burrito place on a folding table. So it kind of speaks for itself. So we say we don't do cheap repairs, but if you want a quality repair, we do them. We're also Apple certified and an Apple IRP, which haven't really used it that much, but when we've needed it, it's very handy. Um, we do offer B2B services, which has been actually a huge portion of our business lately, which is really cool. Um,
So, the IRP, how does that work?
you basically sign up to be allowed to sell Apple's parts and use their software. There's a lot of stipulations to it, and you have to really abide by a lot of things, and there's a lot of like paperwork involved
I
in the
remember when
beginning.
they released the requirements. It was almost like selling a kidney to try
There
and
is,
do.
yeah, I think they've lightened up a lot, like from when it first started, but I know that there is still some pretty harsh stipulations. So
So tell me about that. Are you allowed to do third party repairs, or is it?
you are allowed to do third-party repairs, yes. However, if Apple comes and checks on your store and you're using like say back glass with the Apple logo that's counterfeit, you're gonna get kicked out and you're not gonna be allowed to work on their products for 5 years supposedly, which would be kind of hard to enforce, but
So are you allowed to do back glass repairs?
you're allowed to do back glass repairs technically, yes, but you have to do no logo or housing swaps because you can get housings from Apple and do the whole housing swap.
Some people go to third parties to get those housings, and it,
Right.
it can be
But yeah, I mean
interesting.
that's just their rules and it's cool for when we have needed it, say like 13 Pro Maxes and the 12s and things like that, where especially when you couldn't get the aftermarkets, it was very handy because you could just order it from Apple and program it.
Like, a lot of people, I don't know why the upsell is like a lost art to some of the people. And if those who don't know, I know you through Facebook. We've done a little business together, but it's one of those things where people will deny the idea, like it's so below them to try and charge somebody more for you completing more or doing more for them.
Right.
Um, we subscribe to that. Hey, if we're gonna bondo or break something, try and augment a frame for you, or if we want those corners dremeled out, we're gonna charge for it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of people are against that. So what's it like living in Vermont? How's business there?
Um, uh, as far as business, we're kind of more in like a lower middle class area. I mean, there is some upper class, but it's a lot of middle class, and that's kind of the the clientele we've tried to cater to is the middle class because we don't really want the low class because it just brings problems. I
Mhm.
mean, most of the time, like, people trying to bring in Walmart phones to fix, we kind of just turn them away and say, hey, it's better to just get a new one unless you have data that's super important to recover.
Exactly.
Um, but as far as business, it's actually been really good because, like I said, we're the only shop in town, like a legitimate shop, and there's computer repair shops that have been here forever. But instead of looking at them like competition, I just went to these shops, introduced myself, tell them what we did, things like that, and then it's been great. They refer work to us all the time.
So apparently you guys have a population of 15,000.
Yeah, not many at all.
So
It's
I don't know if you've seen my post, but so we're moving from here in Sacramento to Oklahoma. So we have like 2 million where we're at now.
that's
And
insane.
it's nuts. There's a lot of people, but there's a
But
lot of
it's
homeless too.
oversaturated there too. Yeah, true.
200
And the
repair
market.
shops.
Yeah,
It's everyone from Gandhi to little boy Paps on the road is doing repairs. So it
that's a
is.
hard market.
It's a hard market. We still do fairly well. We've grown the business. We got to this location in 2015, and man, it's just every year steadily gone up. In 2020 tripled our market,
That's
and
awesome.
it's been a
Yeah, I
roller
have a lot of
coaster.
respect for that because like it's been pretty easy for us here. Like I said, we were the only shop, so and we started during COVID in 2020. September
Oh,
of
nice.
2020 is when I founded the business. Like, but I have a lot of respect for everybody with the oversaturated markets. Like, you really have to set yourself apart. And even though we've already done things to set ourselves apart, like we just focus on quality, um, I just think it's awesome for people that are in such saturated markets to do well and really set
So,
themselves out.
what brought you into the repair field?
I've always loved electronics, man. I was, like everyone says, the kid that was taking things apart when he was a kid, and we get our CD player for Christmas, and a week later there's something wrong with it that I got to take it apart to fix.
Did so 2020? How was that business model? You were like, I'm just gonna rent a place, or were you already doing repairs?
Um, I've always known that I wanted to own my own business, and I've always loved electronics, so it kind of was perfect. I was working full time. I used to do carpentry, and I was managing this. I was a lead carpenter managing other carpenters under me for luxury condo builders. I just saved up, and it was a great job, and I made a lot of money, but I was just sick of working for somebody. And I saved up, finally saved up enough to start the business, and then kept working part-time while I opened it out of the house. And then I finally got a tiny little shop just to see if it would work. It did. Within 3 months, we had to move because it was way too small. So then we moved to like our 1,000 square foot place where we are now, and it's been amazing.
Oh yeah. So you had mentioned in the DMs that you had spent 5 years in jail. So
Yes.
where and
Not just
why?
jail, but actual prison.
What'd you do?
Just young. Like I said, I grew up in Vermont and also New Hampshire, so like not much to do kind of thing.
Drugs?
Got into drugs, yep, hanging with the wrong crowd, things
Hey,
like that.
loyal to the foil.
And
I'm
they're
very
yeah,
aware.
and they're very like hard on that stuff there too. Like so, yeah,
So
I
was
got
it
drug court, and then I just
okay?
failed drug court because I couldn't stop getting high. So
Oh
they
god.
impo yeah, so they imposed that really long sentence. And then yeah, I've only been clean for about 5 years now. But since
Th-
being clean, I've done so much for my life, and it's been so much better. And now
th-
my new fix is repairing things. So
so I'm very when you said that, that's why I was like, I got to have him on because your origin story is very similar to mine. Like I was in drugs from 2010 to 2013, and man, it was pills to patches, patches to fentanyl to heroin.
hmm
Ruined my life, just destroyed me. And
yeah,
then it became this thing where it was like, all right, I got to get sober. Then the VA, I went there, didn't really work out. Went to NA, found NA, that helped me. Got clean, man, I had no money, started working as a welder, making what was $12 an hour at the time was good money. It's fantastic. And then I broke my phone. first paycheck. Shit. It was this, I don't know how to live without the cell phone. So I took it to another group member actually. And this will, go on in another podcast. But so basically they had charged me $350 to fix my phone. Last paycheck, because I had just gotten fired when I broke it. And got into a scuffle with the shop manager. And so he couldn't fix it. He had actually broken my LCD trying to refurbish the glass. Back then it was difficult. He's like, oh, I'll charge you $175 for my time. I'm like, what? So I got charged for him breaking my parts. I went on Amazon, bought it $40, started this whole thing. But damn, keeping my hands busy for other people, because I was just parading saying, hey, don't go to this guy. I can do it, or do it yourself for 3 months. And people were like, no, I'll pay you $20, pay you $40, pay you $50. And then it just snowballed. But if I didn't have this, like keeping my hands busy,
Right.
I would have found something to snort, shoot, smoke. It would have
That's a
been
lot
bad.
of it too, is keeping busy and kind of like getting out of that lifestyle. Changing the lifestyle is the biggest thing.
The biggest problem, I
Because it
think,
is a lifestyle too. Like it's
yeah,
not just the drugs, dude. It's the lifestyle that people like. It gets to be
there's a
addicting.
big point of like, then it became 4 years after my sobriety that was like, well, I just got 10 grand. I have no bills. What am I going to do with it? That was I got to get some structure of where my money's going to go, because otherwise it just burns a hole in your pocket. And then you start thinking, I could get high once. Nobody's going to care. I make so much money now. I'm doing so much. There's no way I'd get addicted to this again. Dude, I almost relapsed, I think, like 4 or 5 times in 2015, 2016. It was just immense pressure because of the free time and the amount of money I was making. It was new to me. So
It's
that's one of
hard.
the things. It's something to be aware of, because once you start making 40 grand a month and you're like, I got no bills, nothing to do, what are you going to do your time with? That's why
Yeah.
people on yachts are snorting coke and, fucking Albanian.
Right.
It's nuts. So what do you do with your free time besides being a business owner nowadays?
I actually started with a family, and that's helped a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
So
Little
I married my
bastards.
my best friend uh since we were 6 years old. So just kind of life partner type thing, and it's been great. She's awesome. She had two little boys already. Kind of a shitty relationship, but with their dad, but it's been awesome. That's helped me a lot too, just being a dad and kind of.
See, I stepped into fatherhood similarly, actually, in
Yeah.
2018. I don't know if you saw my post, but so I've got a 6-year-old stepdaughter, and we had to deal with baby daddy, or we call him Daddy Doug because it's
Hmm.
DTD. And so funny,
So you know how it
impractical.
is.
It's nuts. I don't know why people can't keep their fucking noses clean. I say it on my vlog channel. I say it everywhere. If the people just
Especially
kept their
like,
noses clean, I
oh,
wouldn't want to slap the shit out of you. I would
yeah,
not.
it's
There
hard.
would be no problem whatsoever. Just stop being an asshole. Great. There you go. You get your time with your kids.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible though.
See, mine had put hands on my wife pretty badly in front of our daughter, and
Yeah, there's no excuses for that.
he served his time, did his
That's good.
thing, made his amends, but is still a bit of a shithead at times. So it's like, just get your right, stay right. As long as you're taking care of the kid and it's in safety care of the child, I am fine. She
Yep.
she gets flowers instead of hands. But man, it's rough sometimes. And nobody tells you owning a business, being a drug addict, and being a sole provider of a house is going to be so much bullshit until it is. So,
Yeah.
I,
There was no preparing for that.
when did you run into her, or were you dating her at the time, hanging out with
Um,
her?
we kind of re got just started hanging out. I don't even know. I think I just messaged her or something, and but it didn't take long. It was like a year, 2 years being together. We decided to get married.
Yeah, always when kids are involved, it's real quick. We did a year to the
Yeah,
date. Dumb decision, because we went August to August and it was like 110 degrees outside and we got married
that's
outside.
great. We got married in August too, on the
Dude,
8th.
the 25th, yeah. It was so
That's awesome.
dumb. We
It
put up
was.
we put all the tent things up to try and stop people from getting hot, and everyone was sweating. I think she was out of her dress after the first dance. My daughter was changed after the first. Everyone was like, "Fuck this, grass, feet, get water."
Yeah, it was
Oh,
hot even here in Vermont, man, for our wedding. And
dude, I think
luckily I
August
wore
is
a
just
white
hell's
tux.
month. Oh god,
Thank
sweat
God.
like a wet t-shirt contest, huh?
Yeah, it was. A lot of my pictures are like that, but hey, whatever.
And that's why they're not my profile pictures. It's just easier
Yeah.
to bury them.
Yeah, I actually think I have my one of my wedding photos with my kids as my profile picture. So I
I
got the
did.
white tux on.
I did for a while, and then I just kept looking at it. I'm like, I was a little bit bigger then, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Looked like Free Willy coming out of the water. It was so funny, man. I was sweating so bad that the dark green that we had on was like it was more of a like a limeade, almost wintry green, but it was soaked so bad that it looked like a white T-shirt. I'm like, oh, so bad.
Yeah,
So
they'll
what are
have
you
that.
doing, or what's your plans nowadays for the digital repair surgeons? You gonna open up more stores? You gonna
I
expand
think
this one?
so. Yeah, it's really hard to find help here, especially with how few people there are. There's also very few skilled work too, and like even just work in general is very hard to find. So my wife works with us. She does like all the admin stuff and
Mhm.
front end stuff and keeps the books and all that. And then I have a tech. Finally, I found a technician, and he found us um, through a work program. And then
Nice. Those
yeah,
interns are they're cheap. Is it getting paid by the state?
he was for 3 months, but now I pay him, which is not a
God,
problem because he earns his keep, man. He's great. So
just cycling those people is the one like benefit of free money in whatever state you're in. It's like, hey,
yep,
special people, come here.
yes,
You're very special.
exactly. Yes,
It's,
that worked out for the best.
I had one who robbed me. So that
Ooh,
was at beginning of 2020,
that's
right before
strange.
the pandemic, and he was autistic, high functioning. But
Interesting.
he basically swept up and
Exactly what my guy is.
sorted. Yeah, he just sorted stuff. His name was Cole. Shout out Cole. But this is a funny story I haven't told on the podcast. And so he worked. It was supposed to be 4 months. Turns out he had been taking our trash and throwing things in the trash and then picking them out of the dumpster.
It's actually kind of smart, to be honest with you.
Super smart. Nobody would have checked it. He was sweeping and organizing all the time, throwing away boxes, stupid shit. He built an entire farmer's market, like trading post in
Oh
his
my
dorm
God.
and was selling parts, phones, computers, easily $60,000 worth of stuff over 4 months he had. So when the principal or dorm master came in and was like, "What is this?" He was like, "Oh, this is Cole's trading post." So they called me and they were like, "Did you know he's aware? Is this under your license, or you're not supposed to do this here?" And I'm like, "I had no idea this was happening. There was nothing." So his mother called me. He's like, "Please don't put him in jail." I'm like, "What am I supposed to do? He stole 20 grand
Right.
worth of stuff. He's selling it, doing this. I don't know what's been stolen, what's been taken." We do a lot of used or like donated goods from tow yards. So he would take every time I got a box of used phones, if it was like a 10 or an 11 or 11 Pro Max, he would take and throw it in the garbage.
Hmm.
And so he had 100 devices that were iCloud locked or
Right.
unlocked, or he had gotten undone or FRP removed because we had introduced him to how we did that. And so his mother ended up paying me the financial loss to keep him out of jail. And I had never thought or felt bad about having somebody who's special have their mother pay to get him out of jail. And then I'm like, there are rich people everywhere that will pay to have their kids not go to jail. Like
Hmm.
the whole Malibu's most wanted. I'm like, Jesus, rich kids must
Yeah.
be nice.
But that is crazy though. That
Dude,
is
it's
crazy.
imagine some kid like
That sucks
take
that he would. I wonder why he would do that though. Like,
he was under the assumption it was garbage because most of what he took was either used or lightly like it had been sitting around for a while. So his mind said that it was all garbage, that he would take it home and refurbish it.
pretty
It
much, yeah.
it was an intense one. Are you doing anything on the content side for your store? I know I see a lot of people that are starting to do TikToks, Instagram.
I have an Instagram and stuff, and I try to get on there a lot. I'm also like sharing a lot on my personal profile and all. I'm trying to build that up too, kind of like, everyone else does.
Yeah.
Um, but I do have the business one, and I do share on there and post. And I recently did start a YouTube,
Good.
and kind of like my way of giving back as well as branding. Um,
Everyone always
yeah,
thinks that that
it's
is
awesome.
like cliche because there's so many people that do it. And the problem
It's
is,
just like social media. It's like Facebook.
exactly. So that there's so many people are like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm like, dude, I ripped off so many people's Black Friday ads this week. Like I just copied as much as possible. I was running late, sick. I'm like, God damn it, I haven't got any ideas. Okay. All right. That looks good. Take it. But it's like, it's not going to reach the same people. You're going to reach different people, different things, so on and so forth. Now there's people who like rip the content, which is always funny, but it's a whole separate like repair beef in the industry. But what's your
Yeah,
plans for moving or opening shops? Are you gonna ever open more
I'd like
outside of
to.
Vermont?
It's just hard because like I can't even find enough workers for my own shop now.
Oh yeah,
Once we get people like actually working there that are gonna stay there, then I can actually move on. But right now it's hard because I'm the owner operator. So
you subscribe to Benjamin Rosso?
yeah, oh, I actually took Pro Fixer.
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah.
That's the class that actually I didn't. I loved micro soldering, wanted to get into it, could do like HDMI ports and stuff, albeit not very well. So I got into that course, and it paid for itself within 3 months, man, while I was still in the course. And it just took off from there.
His
But
whole store operating policy, SOPs, don't be the operator, be the
mhm,
business owner.
yeah,
It's I
it's
don't know
amazing, and
why.
I implemented as much as I could towards my business. It's just hard finding people. But
His the way he did it, it doesn't work for everyone, but
it doesn't, but you can follow a lot of it.
a lot of what he has, it's so he needs to just make a motivational speech book because it's not for just the repair industry.
It's not.
If he just made a master class on how to teach people how to deal with operating policies, he'd make so
Yep.
much more money. But he is so committed to this industry, it's nuts.
He is. He is committed. And that's another reason I did the YouTube was kind of give back because ever since I've taken that class, I mean, I really went all out though. Like I put my all into that class and I bought thousands of dollars worth of devices to learn on before I offered it as a B2B service from even for my walk-in customers. I would send it out until I was totally comfortable with whatever repair I was doing. And I just kept practicing and I finally got it.
Most people will end up shutting down either their retail side or their B2B side, depending on what gets more business.
Right.
Like Jesse Cruz works straight out of his house.
Oh man,
Um,
it's so tempting because then you don't have to deal with the end user custom. It's trust me, I'm really tempted, but yeah,
B2B can be hard though, because
it is hard.
you get the people who want constant updates or randomly their customer
Yeah.
changes their mind. I don't envy
Yep.
you. Not
And
one bit.
you gotta deal with like wrong passcodes back and forth and like people sending you shit that's already been worked on that you like turns into a rabbit hole, things like that. So yeah.
So did you see the repair desk drama?
With the payments?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Repair Desk, but we don't use block chip,
So
so we weren't
I
affected.
I used repair desk for about a month trying to get them to set up. We wanted the CRM with the label printer. We wanted everything to work seamlessly. For some reason, Usman and his team could not get that label printer to work, and we had a Square terminal. So we were like, okay, well, finally, we'll buy the block chip. It's an extra $450. It just sat there. We didn't use it. We used Square on the side. We still stuck with Square. We pay 1.74 on Square because we volume so much. And so, man, I had that thing in a box for the last 2 years. It was 2020 at the beginning when it was beta. And somehow they still charged me for each location of each terminal.
Wow.
So 2 years, they don't have my credit card or my bank info. That has changed. So they've gone through EPX, put in a manual debit charge through people's accounts, which is like for a subscription based program. Like, okay, they signed a contract or something, they have to verify it to the bank. Like, this money is there. We have contracts that say we're allowed to charge this, and they processed it to each bank.
Why? How? What was it? Supposedly it was an accident.
Blockchip didn't even know what happened. I got a call from the lady today who's like up near the CEO or whatever they want. I don't know, but they're supposed to give everyone their money back who comes with proof that they got the charge, and say, okay, sorry, we're putting money out of our pockets. We ended business with EPX months ago. Basically, EPX just decided, we have this bank account information from Blockchip. We're going to steal this money.
Wow.
That's it. So that's why EPX nobody will contact. The business
Yeah.
doesn't even exist. They probably stole 10 million. There's
Exit
60,000.
scam.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of how many users there are. $300 each one, man. That's a lot of money.
There's 60,000 users on Repair Desk. Half of them will say, and that's $27 million.
That's
It's
ridiculous.
crazy. In one charge.
Yep.
It's so dumb. I was talking to somebody else in the group, and we're like, this is the easiest class action lawsuit, because it's not that we have to sue EPX. We have to sue Blockchip. And that's where it's stupid, because like Blockchip, they've got plenty of money. They're a processor.
Right. They didn't keep this like. There's no reason they should be able to get it. I don't know. Whatever.
It's
That's
so
crazy.
dumb, yeah, because it's
I'd
like,
be upset. I'm glad it didn't happen to me because I'd be real pissed.
I would check your accounts, because if you have them or you're
I
contracted,
should. I should check.
it's probably a $295 charge, because sometimes it says merch settlement, not EPX.
I will look through it.
Yeah, because dude, it is the funniest and dumbest thing. even imagine 5% of people do not say that they got the charge or don't even care to look. And then boom, you're like, oh shit, I got $12 million for free. What the fuck? That's nuts. Imagine the money they're saving from that exit. This is a pure crypto exit scam.
Literally.
Yeah. So if you could say, I don't know, any state, what's your choice in state for repair?
Like to move to?
Yeah. If you could up and move your family, start a new business.
I don't know, man. I've always wanted to move to California, to be honest with you, but now I know it's a bunch of homeless people and stuff. But
So bad, yeah.
and I'd love to go to Florida, but I can't stand humidity. Like, I just can't.
Humidity like you do not even notice after a couple of months there.
Really?
I lived in Korea, and it's humid and it's sticky, and I forgot about it. I hated everything about that place except for the humidity. It was weird.
Interesting.
Even snowing, it was sticky. I was like, damn.
I don't know. I'd never really thought about it, and I guess I wouldn't really know because I haven't traveled that much either. Like I've only been as far as Virginia.
Oh, nice. See, we
Yeah.
went all the way to Texas and Oklahoma, and then back a couple of times. And I've gone up to Washington and Canada and down. But man, I drive a Tesla like a and the fun part with owning a Tesla is the auto drive feature. It is ungodly the amount you want to drive with it. It's
I would love that.
watching Netflix and hanging out, and you're like, okay, kids, shut up. You know, it's so fun.
I bet I would love that. But I guess if I had to pick, you didn't say in the US, but I would love to move to Canada. I hear good things about Canada.
Everyone's talking about it. They're saying that
Yeah.
Trudeau's lightening his grip on the economy. So I'm
So I
looking
think
forward to that.
I would pick Canada if I had to move or could move or
How
wanted
old are
to
your
move.
kids?
7 and 10.
Damn, they're old. I got a 2
Yeah.
and a 6-year-old. Well, they're
Damn.
yeah, they're a little more hands on. They need a lot more. Like, they fall,
Yeah.
help me. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's always fun. But
Yeah.
I shot a vlog of my daughter kicking the shit out of me that'll be up tomorrow. Well, by the time this goes up, it'll be up. But man, the edit is priceless, because I got a guy in Armenia that cuts it for me. And so imagine Mortal Kombat between me and a 6-year-old on a giant bed. It's priceless.
I bet.
It's so funny. So that's the good times, though. When they're younger, it's a lot easier to
Yeah, it is.
maneuver and mold. You should
It
take
is.
a road trip, take some time off, because the problem with being a business owner is finding time for yourself is nuts. And are you open
Yeah.
7 days a week or are you doing six?
No, no, no. We were doing six, and then I just was like, screw this, man. Now I only do five. 10 to 6, Monday through Friday, bro.
See, we do 10 to 7, 11 to 6 on Saturdays. We used to do 10 to 7, 7 days a week. And that was the single me.
It's just too much.
It's impossible.
It's great for the money, but then, like, even closing 1 or 2 days, you really don't lose that much. I mean,
See, we on average back then were taking in about $1,000 a day. So we were making
yeah,
350 to 500 in profit depending on what we were doing. So if I cut
that's
that day, I was like,
good.
oh shit, I'm losing $500. And
Yeah,
then it turned into what it is now. And I'm like, well, a day is like $3,000 if nobody's here to manage it.
yeah,
And so it's a different lifestyle, but I'm not really present at the store much anyway now because I'm doing my own
that's
stuff.
nice.
But
And then I take Sundays off, but I do still work Saturdays. I do go in for a few hours, like 4 hours, and I do B2B stuff. And I'll that's the time I've been dedicating to like recording stuff and getting my equipment set up and learning how to edit and record and stuff like that.
there's
So,
always people who would do it for $5 to $10 a video on Upwork. Keep that in mind.
editing it,
Yeah, they'll edit it. They'll, you pay a couple of times, get a couple of different versions, so on and so forth, and they get the groove of what you like, and
that's
then it
good to know.
becomes like a whole thing. I just pay to have all these edited. It's $10 a video. It's much easier.
That's really good to know.
Yeah, you can
I might
find a
look
lot.
into that.
There's so many. I got guys in Armenia, guys in the Philippines. There's so many different countries and people doing different things that make it exponentially better.
That's
It's
cool.
weird. Most of the guys that do like heavy editing, not the repair guys, are like showing the repairs because you have to show all the ins and outs. You split the board, you put the legs in, you do this, do that, and like that has to be shown for a step by step tutorial. But
Yeah.
stuff like this that gets cut and mixed, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and that's what I plan to do. I plan to do some step-to-step stuff, and I'll get better with my videos as I go. It's just I'd love to just record all my repairs and share the good ones, kind of like Jesse does, but like obviously not exactly the same. But I
he
love it.
probably repair or records every single video. I don't think he plans them all, but he picks the
Right.
best one.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, he does a great job, and I was so like just happy to have him as a coach. He's very good at what he does.
It's surprising how much he helps other people with how much he's got going on. Even with the
It
move,
is. It is.
I want.
It really is. Him
I'd
and
love.
Dustin, they're just like
Oh,
they're
Dustin's a little shit. Yeah,
they're both yeah, he's an asshole, but
yeah,
he's a great guy.
he's perfect with it though. That's the Air Force in him.
Yeah, they're
Um,
both great. They're both my idols, so it was great having to be able to learn from them and
how
just
long were you in the groups before you started like posting and interacting and stuff like that? How long
pretty
did you?
early on. I think I
Yeah.
joined the groups when I joined Pro Fixer because I started learning about the different groups and stuff. So I was right out of it swinging because I'm not really shy, so I kind of just
Oh
try
no,
to
not at
help
all.
people.
Not at all shy.
I try to help people if I can and put my 2 cents in here and there.
See, I like starting shit. The groups are always fun.
Well, yeah, I gotta
Let's
do
put
that
your opinion in and
a
then
little
let
bit.
something happen. It's a drive. It's the only thing I go on Facebook now for. I'll drop a, hey, I want to sell this because it's easier than selling in the store, or hey, does somebody have something? That's convenience, but most
Yes.
of it is going into the groups and being like, did you see what Betty Sue said today?
Mm-hmm.
Like some random shit somebody
Daily dose of
started.
drama.
Exactly, so good. I wish
Yes.
somebody would make that fucking YouTube channel. That would be so hilarious. Just one
That would
Karen
be
a
a
day.
good channel. That would be a good channel.
I bet that daily dose of what was it? Daily dose of life channel has like one for every country and like different niche. And you just got lucky on that one. Everyone's going to be rushing tomorrow because they don't want to be closed for Thanksgiving. So the moment you're open, everyone's going to be like, "Can you do this every
Hmm.
year?" I hate it. I used to be open for
Last minute rushes.
I used to be open for 4 hours on Thanksgiving, and whoever would come in would pay triple the price. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be here, or on call, because I only live 5 minutes usually for my business. If you call me in, you're going to pay triple. It's going to be an emergency. I'm driving, so on and so forth. But this window is like an on-call window. And it worked every year. Somebody paid for it. I don't know why, but they had to have the phone fixed, had to have the console fixed, something done. One year I did a projector, and they wanted it for Mario Kart behind the house. And I was like, oh, that's a $700 repair. I had the lens. I don't know how. And I was like, yeah, I have one of those. I'll just take it off of my projector. And I think I charged him like $2,200. And it was such a weird feeling. But God, it just reminds me of the holidays and how desperate everyone are.
It's crazy. It really is. But
What have you been seeing this week with all the craziness?
for some reason we got to get a bunch of this week we got a couple of 12 series that one was, and there are a couple of, they're out of staters. They're from out of state, so they're here on like for Thanksgiving. Um, One of them was stuck in recovery mode, but the other one was just a di really dim screen. And it's both from the proximity sensors,
Mhm.
how they get that liquid damage underneath.
Well, what is it? The wet detect Apple and their fun stuff. I
Yeah, they
think
just
they
get kind of
intentionally
wet.
make it like that. Like the
I
circuit
don't
is
know.
built to
It's gotta
break.
be. It's gotta be.
It's got to be so where somebody's like, we could probably increase revenue on return customers or like out of warranty if we just put this tiny wire here and it was not protected whatsoever. And if they happen to sweat on their phone,
Right.
this is what would happen.
That's literally how it is because it's right under the mesh. Right
It's
under the
so
mesh.
funny, but most customers still don't want to pay it. Even here in California, when we're like, hey, you got liquid damage, X, Y, and Z, even if it's a $20, all right, I'll dust it out, remove the corrosion. Great. Don't want to pay for it. They're like, no, it's never been wet. Okay, it's sweat. It's whatever. It's however it got liquid in it. They still don't want, and they fight you tooth and nail whenever it's water damage.
Crazy.
It's just fun.
That's crazy because I haven't had that experience, which is good, I guess. They didn't blink an eye.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for watching, viewing, subscribing. Share, like, comment, visit Digital Repair Surgeons. We appreciate you viewing. You got anything left you want to say to the people?
Like and subscribe.
Perfect. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past. But knowing me, my DeLorean will probably